Hey y'all, this is Monay.
What up, dude? This is Travis Miller.
And you're listening to another episode of the Becoming One podcast. So y'all, we want to say thank you and let you know that we appreciate you for taking the time to tune back in for another week of our conversations and dialogue. And if this is your first time, we want to say hello and a welcome. You didn't have to take the time out of your day, out of your schedule to listen to this podcast at this very second, but you did, and we appreciate you for it. If you did not know, you can actually find us on social media at The Miller Initiative, which is on Instagram and Facebook. And you can also individually follow us on social media on Instagram at Monay K. Miller and at Travis.N.Miller, as well as Twitter. I'm on Twitter at Monay K. Miller. Travis, what is your Twitter info?
I'm on there somewhere. I don't know it, to be honest with you.
We'll find them later. So, if you did not know, we love to hear feedback. We like to talk to y'all. We like y'all to talk to us. So if you ever have any questions, comments, concerns, you want to share some stories, if there's any topics that you think of that you want us to discuss, you can send us a voice message on Anchor, or you can leave us a voice message in our DMs on Instagram, or if you want to email us, you can do that too at becomingonepodcast@gmail.com. We will reply and respond in a timely fashion. Yeah. So, did I miss anything?
No, I think that's about covers everything.
That's it. Yeah. Find us.
Give us all the deets.
The deets?
As the people call it, the deets.
What people are saying deets?
Isn't that what you say?
No.
The deets?
I say very strange things, but I do not say deets.
Yeah, all the details.
That's not my thing.
Yeah.
So, folks, I don't know if you can tell for those of you who are watching via YouTube, but we look a little tired. The children ran me ragged. I don't know about him, but they literally ran over, stepped on all the things me today. So, I'm going to give you all the energy that I got left, because after this, I'm going to crash, and it's going to be amazing.
What she's about to do is find the energy within her spirit.
Oh, I have it. They're getting the rest. To the spot. They're getting the rest. So, y'all, it's been good times. We have been working on lots of things, talking about lots of things, and I am just really feeling the momentum that we got going on with the business, with our personal lives. We've been back in the gym.
Yeah. Before you get into that,
okay,
because I ain't gonna tell them about the gym in case y'all can't tell, about to bust through these shirts. But anyway, we have some new features we want to share with y'all. We have. Did we share all this stuff already?
No, we have not.
Yeah, so we have a new soundboard, and I like it personally because I like technology and whatnot. But this thing's going to allow us to do a whole lot more. And what we want to maybe start implementing in the future is maybe having people call in. So with this soundboard, you guys will be able to call in, and we'll give out the phone. It will be the number for the Miller Initiative, most likely. And we'll give the number out, and you guys can call in and speak to us while we're recording. So if you pay attention to the social medias, more information will be up there whenever that is ready, whenever we're ready to launch that. But if that sounds like something that you would be willing to do, again, let us know. Talk to us, more than likely on Instagram. Instagram is the best place.
Facebook too, though. We check our DMs wherever you can.
We check all of them. But let us know if that's something you like to do. I think that would be really cool to be able to talk to people live. I've already tested it out, so I know how it works and all that jazz. So that's one of the cool things. Also, if you're in the Charlotte area and you just want to drop by, we have more cords, and we can plug you right into the soundboard, so we can get up to 4 people with a live mic, and then we have a computer we can add on and the phone. So if you're in the area and you want to be a part, let us know. Come through, join us, join the conversation and everything that we have to say. So I just wanted to update y'all on that because I think it would be really cool to get to know y'all on a more intimate level. Aha.
But the weird aha. He's so strange. I mean, I'm strange, but he be on his strange kick too. But anyway, so like I was saying, we've been putting in some work, okay? I know I've been working out. I don't know how to describe or explain this whole transformation of my relationship with the gym.
Mm-hmm.
it has gone from I'm doing this because I want results to being something that it's like, it's a me thing, but it's not just a me thing because it's something that we can both do together too. And I know in the beginning when we were both doing it together, my attitude towards working out in general was not what it is right now.
Yeah,
so it didn't make the experience that enjoyable. But now I enjoy going to the gym. I like lifting weights. I like using I don't even know what it's called, but it's like this dome thing with a bunch of bars you can get in and you can stretch. And I like using that. I just like working out at the gym. Like a lot of people work out at home. Nothing wrong with that. I just prefer to be in the gym. It's just my thing. I feel like I'm in not another world or another zone. I'm in my
it's
place.
kind of like you go to the office. So when you work it out at home, it's cool. You can get in the mode. But as soon as you leave that door, you can hit another notch. So if that's going for a run or going to the gym, I feel like it's the same mode as going to the office. Like you kind of hit another level, unless you got a home office and you're just used to it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Maybe in that, yeah, I can see why you would say that. Because, I don't think I've had many opportunities to work from home per se, like when I was working the 9 to 5. But those few times where I did have my computer at home, I don't really think I was getting much done or being very productive. Now, there are some people who find themselves very productive when they're in a comfortable environment, but I think I'm more relaxed when I'm at home. I don't know. I think it's just something about moving from machine to machine and then picking up the weights at the gym to just do something. It just does something to me. I'm in a different place. I don't know.
Yeah, and I've been biking to work, so my whole body's sore right now because I've been in the gym, I've been biking, I've been doing a lot of legs. It feels like I'm twerking every time I walk. So my yams is yamming.
Why? Why?
My yams
Your
is yamming
yams,
right now.
Why are you calling them yams?
That's what they call it.
I understand that, but you're a guy. Do they call guys yams?
Hey, guys got yams. You know what I mean? Especially if they're working out.
Oh, goodness.
Working their legs out.
Yams be yamming.
You know
Is this a new phrase?
No. And they sore. So every time I move, it's like, all right. You know what I'm saying? Like that's that base. It just makes me want to sit still a little bit longer. That's all I'm saying. My yams is yamming right now. And I don't know if I like it.
Well, never mind. I'm not going to go there. Yeah, there's nothing you can do about it at this point. If you're going to continue to bike, your yams are going to continue to yam according to you.
I'm going to keep going. But it did make me, when I was in the gym, I had a thought I wanted to ask you.
Okay.
So while you've been married, do you feel like you have more or less friends?
Well, I'm going to answer your question directly. I'm not going to add all this extra stuff. I think I have less friends. I don't think that's as a result of being married. I think several different things are the reason or contributed to me feeling as though I have less friends. So I think, one, moving down to Charlotte, that kind of, for me, because, I don't just call anybody and everybody friend. I have categories. There's associates, there's actual friends, and there's like people who are basically like, you like my sister or you like my brother. And so I think just moving down to Charlotte, it kind of trim not the, how people talk about clipping the weeds, trim the fat, clipping the weeds, whatever you want to call it.
Clipping the weeds.
Well, when
what
pruning.
Are you talking
About? I'm
trying
to think of the word pruning. I was trying to say pruning. Anywho,
clipping the weeds.
I was trying to say pruning.
A weed barbershop.
Oh my gosh, not smoking weed.
I know what weed you're talking about.
Anyway, so I just think that it kind of brought to the forefront the people who are more in my circle to move through certain seasons. People who kind of I would have casual conversation with, maybe would go out and have like drinks and stuff with. They aren't necessarily the people I've found myself in frequent communication with since we've moved. Now, granted, we've been married 7 years. We've been here almost 3. So most of the people I hung out with when we were in Michigan were people I worked with. Majority of them were people I worked with. And so I didn't really hang out with too many work friends. But even when I did, it was literally just us going to hang out. I don't think we really went out of our way to establish anything deeper than the whole work friend relationship thing. So I don't think I have less friends as a result of being married, but I feel like being married has made me realize, as we've gone through many seasons, that I don't have a lot of friends.
Yeah, I feel like navigating friendships in marriage is kind of difficult. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Because I feel like I have less friends, definitely. But after we got married, and just hearing, like, it took me back to when we were going through marriage counseling. Mm-hmm. You remember that?
Yes.
So I remember walking out of marriage counseling, and I was like, and this is the reason why I tell people, like, yo, just because you have marriage counseling and you went through that process doesn't mean you're ready for marriage, nor does it mean you have all the tools that you need to be married. Mm-hmm. Because honestly, depending on who you go to and how their setup is and what their belief system is on marriage and what they teach you, it might not even honestly be for you. After, when we were in marriage counseling, I remember walking out one day and I'm like, okay, Monay, if this is what you want from me, then we can't do this. Mm-hmm. This can't, this isn't going to work.
For the record, I do not remember him saying that. But continue.
Vivid. We were in the hallway, literally like 20 steps from the door, from whatever door it was in the building. We walked out, and I looked at you and I was like, this is not for me. What they're talking about.
Don't remember that.
Is not for me. I remember it. But really, it's like people have this idea that once you get married, that it's just y'all two for the rest of your life, which is cool. You know what I mean? It's cool hanging out with each other. I enjoy it. There's never, like I told you the other day, there's never a time that I don't want to hang out with you. So I would much rather be hanging out and enjoying life than just sitting around, with my boys or whatever. But that doesn't mean that I don't want to hang out with my friends.
So,
male and female.
Something you said that I think is interesting is the whole it's just me and you. And I know that there's times where it's the feeling of it's us against the world.
Right.
I think people can take that very literally. And I think the danger in that is when there is turmoil or when the relationship starts to kind of dissolve a little bit and there's not as much intimacy and you start to kind of drift apart. Mm-hmm. When you have this us against the world mentality, it's like, who else do you have to keep you accountable to your spouse? Who else do you have to be your voice of reason when you are going left field and you going off for no reason? Like, when it's me and you against the world and you literally don't have anybody else, I think that's kind of dangerous because you don't really have somebody to be your sounding board when you just, popping off and you are talking outside of your neck. Because everybody has those moments where it's like, all right, you need somebody to check you. But if the only person to check you is your partner and you done fell out with your partner, then what? That, to me, that leaves the door open for a lot of different things to happen.
Yeah, and we got to kind of keep each other accountable at all times. So for me, if I'm connected to you, there's never a time you can't check me. I don't care if I'm mad at you or not. Like, we were talking the other day, and you said, well, now you're irritated. And I'm like, so what? I'll be irritated. I can get irritated. It's just part. I look at all that as just part of the relationship. You know what I mean? So it doesn't matter if there's like a annoyance or anger or whatever. If I'm connected to you, we connected. You're always. I'm going to believe that no matter what, you're going to want what's best for me. Huh?
Yeah.
Okay, I was about to say.
Well, I muted because
anyway.
You
know what I'm saying? I'm going to believe that you always want what's best for me. So I'm going to approach it in that situation. So if you're mad at me, if you're happy with me, if you're elated with me, it doesn't really matter. You're going to want what's best for me. So I'm going to listen to you, right? But in the same thought, right? Before you get married, before I got married, we had brothers, or people that we call brothers, people that we call sisters. And then it seemed like after we got married, it was just like Monay and kids. And it was a rough transition. And I'm not saying, obviously, if you know me, you know that I enjoy being around family. But I also miss my friends. I also miss people that I used to hang out with. And I know everybody's on, like, they grind. Everybody's trying to build this, that, and the third. But at the same time, it turned into, I can't really and this is when I said male and female, or men and women rather, it turns into he's married, so I can't hang out with him because the things that I want to do as a single man, he's not into or whatever. For the general case, for my case, it was a little bit different because we wasn't just all chasing women like that. So I have friends in all circles that do all types of things, and then for women, it's like, well, I can't really talk to him because that might look bad for him, and then Monay might get mad, and then I don't want him to like cheat and yada yada yada. But it's like for me, I look at marriage as like a sacred thing. So if I'm married, I'm married. Like even right now, I don't have my ring on, but I'm married. Right. So I know that it doesn't matter in any situation, right? I know that I'm married. However, other people see it, and as people are so over sexualized, there's so many like people that'll go around cheating or trying to start a relationship, and we've all seen it. I don't remember how many families my grandfather had. I think it was like 2 or 3 in Florida. So we've all seen it. We know it happens, and so I understand the feeling, but going through that as someone who doesn't have that on his mind, it's like it's a rough process to go through.
So, you said so many things. It just, so I think part of the culture that we kind of grew up in or around were very much so, don't let your good be spoken evil of. Like, don't give off the appearance that you're doing something. And I often wonder, I'm like, well, who are we trying to make sure that we're not doing something in front of to give them this impression? Like, who are these people, and why is that the first thought you go to? Like, why would you have this thought that there's something going on? Like, do we completely disregard and not even consider this person's character? Do we not think about that? Do we not consider these things? Are we taking into context the relationship this person has with their significant other, or do we just automatically assume, well, this is something that could be bad, should it be anybody, not, oh no, this person ain't even about that life?
Yeah, I think people have taken that and just made it like a blanket statement and don't even like consider it. Because I've had situations with friends where I'm like, all right, whatever y'all got going on here, it ain't right. So y'all need to separate. Y'all need to go about y'all business. You are married, and then there was another one that was married, then another one that wasn't married, but he was in like a committed relationship. It's like, all right, y'all need to get checked. You know what I'm saying? There needs to be some type of accountability here. So I've been through those situations where I've seen something and I recognize it. You know what I'm saying? Like if somebody were to walk in and I'm sitting at Applebee's or wherever, Chima's, and I'm sitting up with somebody just like this, and it's not you, obviously I'm doing something wrong. You know what I'm saying? That I feel like that's where, those statements of accountability or whatever come in.
I agree, but I guess I think you understand when I say this. I'm more so referring to things that don't even look like like if somebody is in a hallway and there's nobody else in the hallway and you're standing there talking to a girl or whatever, people are, you gotta make sure you're standing somewhere where other folk can see you. Like,
yeah, I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't care.
I don't understand.
Because people gonna talk and they're gonna say whatever they want to say. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's been so many rumors about me that I was oblivious of that I find out about after the fact, and I'm just sitting there thinking, like, what are y'all talking about? Where did this even come from? Who brought this up? Like, how does this even make sense? But it doesn't matter, because in somebody's mind it makes sense. So to them it's true. So they spread it as true. So whatever you do, somebody's gonna have something to say about it. So why should I be worried about it?
And I think that kind of goes back to this kind of circled conversation we've had about this concept of men and women. Nobody wants them to be friends if somebody's married, and it's like, do we really think, like, truly deep down, do we think as a society that men have absolutely no control over themselves? Because usually people are like, well, I don't want anything to happen. I'm not saying that it will, but we just don't want anything to happen. So because we don't want anything to happen, it's best that they just not be friends.
Yeah, I think that many of the men who grew up I'm not oblivious to this stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know why people feel this way. But I also believe that we have to change this. This isn't healthy, right? So many of the men that grew up in our era and before were always the boys will be boys. You know what I'm saying? So it's he kicked her. Boys will be boys. He forced a kiss. Boys will be boys. Oh yeah, he thought that you wanted to have sex with him. Oh, boys will be boys. Like, that's how many of the men grew up. So people weren't really teaching sexual discipline. I've never heard of sexual discipline. I was practicing sexual discipline, but the only way that it's taught is abstinence. When in fact it can't just be, well, don't have sex, but you have to understand what sexual discipline does for you in your life.
Yeah.
Especially as a man. Like, to be able to walk in a room and there's only one person that you want to be with, and everybody else is literally, no, you're my friend, acquaintance, business related, or whatever. It really doesn't matter what you do at this point. It's whatever you do, it's my choice. You know what I'm saying? Or whatever I do, it's my choice. So I'm holding myself accountable for my actions, my thoughts, my emotions, yada, yada, yada. But that comes with sexual discipline. And we got to start pushing this off on, first of all, our sons need to be sexually disciplined. Not like not like abused or beat or whatever, but taught to be sexually disciplined, not spreading their seed throughout the land or whatever. But it's kind of the same way that people always do their daughters, like, oh, stay pure, stay yada yada yada. I've been guarding my heart since ever. I know how to do it. I've done it for a long time. So I think that's part of the reason why people feel that way, is because most people aren't sexually disciplined, and as soon as the option is there, they jump. Steve Harvey talks about it. Steve Harvey has preached, quote unquote, preached from his shows and the radio that if a man is friends with a woman, he's only friends with them for as long as she allows it to be. So as soon as she gives him the option, he has said that he will take it, and they will no longer be just friends.
See, I guess what I don't understand about that is how in platonic relationships that's even applicable.
What do you mean?
Okay, so he's basically saying in a friendship where a man and a woman are friends, basically the man is only a friend up until the woman says, okay, I want something more, and then he immediately jumps on the opportunity. Yeah,
and I think that just goes back into that boys will be boys type stuff. Like, yo, bro, you got a choice.
Because there's people who are legitimately not interested, from I'm not attracted to you to I'm just not your type to I'm actually interested in somebody else. Like, there is no automatic, this is going to be something if she give me the opportunity for everybody. I feel like we are missing the forest for the trees. In some relationships, I think people are missing it because you've never, in some instances, have never had a history of this being an issue, or there's never been, a thought communicated that this would be an issue. But despite all of that, there's still this, my husband can't have female friends.
Yeah, people, hey, y'all.
I think it's just
men can have, if that man can get up and at any point of his life be dedicated to anything, if he can dedicate himself to you or working out or, I don't know, video games or football, basketball, a team, whatever, if he can discipline himself enough to pay attention and learn all these other things, he can discipline himself sexually. Like, men have the ability to control their sexual appetite. And one thing that you said about, there being an attraction or not, it doesn't matter if there's an attraction or if there isn't an attraction. Even if he has an attraction to somebody, you can still say no. What I think people have struggled with is they have connected like a feeling to an action. So, oh man, I feel this attraction. There's this attraction to this person. There's like an energy there. It's what you hear people say.
Or even the fear that your significant other might be attracted to somebody. Not even having had the conversation to find out if that's the case or not. Just, well, I don't want him to be friends with her because he might be attracted to her.
Look, you got eyeballs, and your attraction doesn't just disappear when you put a ring on. So your type is your type.
So
you know
just what he's saying is, ladies, I'm just clarifying this. He is saying that if you're in a relationship with someone, whether your significant other has said it or not, they find other people attractive, not just you.
That's men and women.
Vice versa.
Like I know that you have seen other men, like you talk of, and this is just like, of course there's the celebrity crushes, but just for lack of any other examples, you talk about Michael B. Jordan.
Very nice looking man.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, she'll put it like that with me, but you know, I don't know what you say with everybody else. But anyway, I know you have eyes. I know you're attracted to people like that. It's not like, oh, my type just changed to Travis. Now that I have the ring on. I understand that. I'm not stupid. You know what I'm saying? So it's crazy.
Thank you.
It's crazy to think that all of a sudden, as soon as you get married, that you're no longer attracted to everybody. Like, we're literally just lying to ourselves. But if we just understand that you can have an attraction to somebody, something, a look, and you can understand that you don't have to act on every attraction that you have, right? When I see a nice car in a what's it called? I'm not comparing.
I thought you were about to say a name.
I'm not trying to compare cars to people, but this is just me. When I see like a Mustang, which is my favorite car, don't know why, it just always has been. When I see Mustang, Corvettes, even a Suburban, I like those too. But anyway, when I see a nice car that I want on a car lot, I want to get in the car and drive away. I want that to be my car. Just because I want that car doesn't mean I'm going to go steal that car, because it's not the right thing to do. I understand that. We could do the same thing with everybody else.
I think there's so much wrapped up in the conversation between someone making the right choice, as you said, and then on the other end, somebody not being honest and communicating whatever insecurities they have that are present that make them feel a certain type of way about even the idea of their significant other having friends of the opposite sex.
And you know what happens?
What happens?
When we ignore it, when we say, oh, no, it doesn't exist. She's attracted to me and she's attracted to me only. You know why? Because I'm just that guy. You know what happens when I lie to myself like that?
What happens?
I take out the opportunity for you to be truthful with me. You know what I'm saying? So now we can't talk about this because if we do, I'm going to get upset. And now, if I get upset, now we're going to have an issue in our relationship. Now we're going to have to go a week of not talking. Nobody wants to have a week of not talking. So I'm just not going to say anything, and I'm just going to deal with this attraction on my own. Instead, I should be able to say, yo, Monay, I'm feeling something here with this person. Like, can we talk about this and talk about why? It allows us to deal with it at the same time.
And I think, I mean, that speaks so much greater than just like being married. This is me coming to my friend with something that I'm struggling with. And I think people lose this idea of being friends with your spouse when they start thinking of, this is just my husband, this is just my wife. Because most of the time people have no issue going to their friends and be like, girl, let me tell you, or man, let me tell you what's going on. But when it comes to their partner, it's like, well, I don't want to look a certain way. I don't want them, looking at me like I'm X, Y, and Z, or I don't want her looking at me and being all mad, or I don't want this, that, and the other. But I mean, with relationships, that communication, you have to be allowed to have vulnerability there, because that's something that probably doesn't feel like that great of a conversation to have, to go to the person you're married to and say, hey, I'm having a certain feeling about a certain person and I don't know what to do about it. But keeping it to yourself, you're not going to be able to solve the problem or fix the situation.
Yeah, and I ain't talking about starting no harem. Nothing like that. I ain't talking about going around and
sister wives.
You know what I'm saying? I'm not talking about all this. I'm not saying that y'all gotta go and look and rate people or whatever it is that people do. You know, I'm not talking about any of that. If he's looking at somebody's butt and you sitting right next to him, that's still disrespect to me. You know, but some couples do it together, so I never know. It depends on the couple. I'm not going yucky or yum. Ain't that how you say it?
Is that
you're young?
I didn't know that was a thing, so I don't
yuck
know
your yum,
if that's
right?
Correct or not.
I'm pretty sure that's how to say it.
Am I like the only one who doesn't know? I'm talking to the camera person too. Am I who says this?
Yeah, people say it.
Is this also the person who talks about the yams?
A lot of people say yams. But anyway, I'm not going to yuck your yum. So if that's what y'all do, then that's what y'all do. But those boundaries got to be set in y'all relationship and how y'all talk and how y'all communicate and whatever y'all do. You know what I'm saying? But no matter what it is, y'all have to be able to talk about it. Y'all have to be able like, if I'm married to you, I should be able to talk to you about anything.
And have the awkward conversation. Like, I mean, it feels awkward while you're having it, and it might even feel awkward afterwards. But the whole point is, what did you get accomplished? Were you able to show what you were feeling? Were you able to communicate what you were feeling? Were you able to be transparent, open, and honest? Because in that space, you get to collaborate on how to figure out a solution that works for the relationship. Not just something that's good for you, not just something that's good for them, but something that makes the relationship stronger.
And I know a lot of y'all are wondering, is this type of communication possible? Are they able to? Possible? Are you really able to get to this type of level where you can just communicate about everything? I'm glad you asked. Anyway, if you go to our website, themillerinitiative.com, you can see all of our information. You go to shop and get our communication ebook, and it teaches you how to properly communicate with your spouse. It breaks down the communication process, it guides you through the steps, and it allows you to build a stronger relationship with your spouse to the point where you will be able to talk about everything. Why? Because you learn about this person in the entire process.
It's called the 3 steps to transforming a relationship, because it transforms your relationship.
You learn their ins and outs. You learn why they might think a certain way. You can learn about their attraction to certain things, and all of it is a communication guideline away. So if you get it, you communicate, you learn, you grow. It's pretty simple. It's broken down pretty easy.
And you can rinse and repeat. Isn't that a thing too?
Lord have mercy.
You can use it again and again.
You can use it for as long as you need. It's made to be reused.
And we've used it ourselves. It's not something we just created and threw up on the website. We too have used the ebook multiple times.
And you need to, because you'll constantly be growing. So you constantly need to be learning and relearning and relearning. So go check it out. Excuse me. Hope that wasn't in the mic. I'm sorry, y'all. Anyway, back to the conversation. When we talk about being able to talk to your spouse about everything, right? This is where a marriage can get kind of dangerous. I know we're getting kind of close to our time, but in marriage, it can get dangerous if you need to have these conversations and you don't have the ability to have it, right? Imagine being married but lonely. So you're married, but you're lonely, and you don't have anybody to talk to. Your old friends ain't really talking to you because you married. Oh, we gotta leave married people alone. You know what I'm saying? That's literally what people tell single folk. Like when we were getting married, they were telling you, make sure he ain't around his single friends, and make sure ain't no women.
It's just, he cannot control
himself. And make sure ain't no women around him. I don't care if they single or married. Make sure ain't no women around him, and make sure he ain't around his single friends.
But those are also the same people who basically said if they were to, nobody has a house phone now, obviously, but if they called the house and wanted to talk to you, they would need to talk to me first to acknowledge the fact that they want to speak to you, and then I give you the phone, so I know that you're on the phone with this person.
Hey, man, look, if people gonna cheat, they're gonna cheat. So I need y'all to understand that. Everybody that's listening to this, if people gonna cheat, they're gonna cheat. A person can only be kept that wants to be kept. It just is what it is. So But imagine being lonely, not having your friends that you trust to talk to, and then you don't really feel comfortable talking to your spouse about it, right? So now you're not talking to your friends, you're not talking to your spouse, but you still lonely this entire time. I got to get this out. Who am I going to talk to? Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And then of course we can talk about counseling and therapy, yada yada yada. But not everybody believes that they have access to that, or they don't want to do it one way or another. So it can be rough, and I'm not saying that it's right, but I understand people going and saying, look, I just need to talk to somebody.
Yeah.
So they're gonna find what they need. That's just what people are gonna do. So that person should be your spouse when you're lonely or tired or depressed or sad or whatever. I should be able to go to my spouse and express these things and work it out with her or him, you know what I'm saying? But work it out with them because that's the person that I'm connected to. That's the person that I said that I'm going to make a covenant with. That's the person that I proposed to, I married. We got 3 kids. Why? You know what I'm saying? We got 3 kids. I done seen a baby come out your body
twice.
You know what I mean? We working, we done moved together. Why I can't talk to you? What you mean? Like, it doesn't make sense the way that we're doing this.
It's I don't know what you're gonna do with my words or my feelings.
And that's the part that where honest communication comes in. It helps to build that environment of trust.
Yep.
Where I know that you want what's best for me. I know you love me. Yada yada yada. This is what I'm dealing with though, and I need help. Mm-hmm. So
just exactly like that. I need help.
Yeah. And that other person needs to know that you're not going to take their words and throw it against the wall the next time you get mad.
Because that's not good.
So, yeah.
Well, I don't know about y'all, but I feel like this is actual conversation that needs to be ongoing. I think this particular topic of allowing yourself to build a true community without feeling as though there has to be some type of fear or monitoring or just this idea that something could happen. Like, friendship is necessary, and if the only person you're friends with, because there are people who still say the only friend my husband needs is me. No, ma'am. He also needs other friends as well. Yeah. I don't know if dudes be saying that, but I know women be saying that. Yeah. So
now, and if your vice is women or whatever, then maybe you don't need any single women friends or women friends. If that's your vice, if you're literally not at a place to control yourself, stay away from it. Stay away.
Safety in numbers.
Yeah, even then, stay away.
Yeah, that's what we got this week, y'all. So, once again, this is Monay.
And Travis Miller.
And you just heard another episode of the
Becoming One podcast.
All right, y'all. Be easy.
Peace. Chicken corn.
Please don't. Please don't.
Chicken corn. Cook and grow.